While writing down the order, the waitress saw the millionaire's name. She froze, as she realized he was the man who had left her pregnant 12 years ago. The lunch rush at Giovanni's was hitting its peak when Sarah's pen stopped moving mid-sentence. The name on the reservation slip stared back at her, David Chen. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she glanced toward table 7, where a man in an expensive navy suit sat checking his Rolex. The same dark eyes, the same confident posture. 12 years older, but unmistakably him. The bustling restaurant seemed to fade into background noise as memories crashed over her like a tidal wave. Sarah gripped the edge of the hostess podium, her knuckles white against the dark wood. The familiar scent of garlic and basil from the kitchen suddenly made her nauseous, transporting her back to that tiny apartment they'd shared, where David used to cook pasta at midnight while she studied for finals. David looked different now. Successful, polished, the kind of man who belonged in boardrooms rather than college dorm rooms. His hair was perfectly styled, not a strand out of place, and his watch probably cost more than her monthly rent. Everything about him screamed wealth and power, from his Italian leather shoes to the way he held himself with practiced authority. But Sarah remembered when he wore wrinkled t-shirts with band logos and lived on ramen noodles, back when they both believed love could conquer anything. She forced herself to breathe, smoothing her black apron with trembling hands. Her reflection in the chrome napkin dispenser showed tired eyes and worry lines that hadn't existed at 22. 12 years of single motherhood had aged her in ways David's money couldn't touch. She thought of Emma, now 11 and brilliant, with David's stubborn chin and her own determination. Emma, who asked fewer and fewer questions about her father as the years passed. Table 7 needs their order taken, her manager called out, oblivious to the personal earthquake happening 3 feet away. Maria's voice cut through Sarah's fog of panic, sharp with the efficiency that kept the lunch rush moving. Sarah nodded, grabbed her notepad with fingers that wouldn't quite cooperate, and walked toward the table on unsteady legs. Each step felt like moving through quicksand. She could turn around, ask Maria to take the table, claim she felt sick. It wouldn't even be a lie. Her stomach was churning like a washing machine. David was scrolling through his phone when she approached, completely absorbed in whatever million-dollar deal was commanding his attention. His manicured fingers moved across the screen with the same dexterity she remembered, though back then they'd been tracing patterns on her skin instead of closing business deals. "Good afternoon," she managed, her voice steadier than she felt. "What can I get started for you today?" He looked up, and for a split second, recognition flickered across his features like lightning in a storm cloud. His eyes widened almost imperceptibly, and his phone nearly slipped from his grip. But the moment vanished so quickly, Sarah wondered if she'd imagined it. His expression shuttered closed, professional mask sliding into place with practiced ease. His eyes swept over her uniform, her name tag, settling somewhere past her shoulder rather than meeting her gaze. The dismissal was deliberate, calculated. Sarah felt the familiar sting of being invisible, the same feeling she'd carried through years of being just another single mother in a world that looked right through her. The salmon, medium rare, sparkling water with lime. His voice was exactly the same, deep, assured, but now it carried an edge of dismissal that cut deeper than any insult. He handed her the menu without really seeing her, already returning to his phone like she was just another piece of restaurant furniture. Sarah's mind raced back to that night 12 years ago, when everything fell apart. They'd been planning their future together, talking about graduation, maybe moving to Seattle where David had a job offer. She'd been so nervous to tell him about the pregnancy, rehearsing the words over and over in their tiny bathroom mirror while he made dinner. "I have something important to tell you," she'd whispered, her hands shaking as they sat in their favorite coffee shop near campus. The same coffee shop where they'd had their first date, where he'd kissed her for the first time under the flickering neon sign. David had smiled, reaching across the sticky table to squeeze her fingers. His touch had been warm, reassuring. "Me too, actually." His expression had been so tender, so full of love that it made her chest ache to remember it. "My father called today. He's offering me a position at the company, but there's a catch.